Hello everyone, my name is Rafal and I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I would like to talk a little bit about my constant lighting for my headshot lighting setup. I've been receiving a lot of questions if I completely ditched my speed lights, and the short answer is yes. I still occasionally use them, but mostly they are as a backup, and my main setup is constant lighting. After 8 months working with constant lighting, I've decided to completely switch to that setup, and there's few reasons behind it, and I want to explore those in today's video. So before we jump into this details, and I want to just basically share with you short disclaimer, I'm not promoting any company here. I've been lucky enough to work with Nonlight, and they provided me amazing lighting setup for my headshots, and I know there's a lot of other companies which makes similar equipment, but in my case I've been exploring Nonlight, and I have to say I'm really impressed with this lighting. I've decided to switch to that system. So I divided this video to 4 parts. The part number 1, we're going to talk about the gear quality, then we're going to talk about the lighting quality, and then we're going to jump into photographer experience working with constant lighting, and finally we'll talk a little bit about our clients, our subject experience working with constant lighting. So let's start with the gear quality. So if you are a professional photographer, I deeply believe that you should have equipment which you can really trust, especially if you have some big projects and you running through a lot of sessions. You need equipment you can trust and you can depend on whenever you go for session. You shouldn't be afraid that your equipment's gonna fail, and that might kind of cause some issues. So when it comes to the lighting system I'm working with, those lights are really well built, and I've run through countless sessions for the last 8 months, and I have to say that I have no issues, no glitches, there is no problems with those lighting. And let me tell you, those lights went through hell because I've been shooting quite often, typically about 3 to 4 sessions a week, and those lights so far they've been doing good job, and I'm extremely happy how they perform, how they work, and there is no much issue. So there's a couple things I want to mention. The one disadvantage is they're quite heavy, so if you're running around your city and you're shooting headshots in different locations, that might be a little bit of issue. But what I recommend, you have to get yourself really nice carry-on bag, and you can transport those lights very easily, and it's not that big of an issue. The second thing is they produce a little bit of heat. So in my case, whenever I'm shooting in smaller rooms, you can right away feel that the temperature goes up. But again, this is not big of a deal. You still can kind of handle it. I know temperature is not going to rise several degrees, but you can really feel, and you can feel that right away, especially in small room. If you're bigger room, it's not big of a deal, but in smaller rooms you can really feel that. Additionally, I would like to add that those lights, they have couple knobs, 1 button, so it's not as complicated to use them versus speed lights, which have a lot of menus, a lot of things you have to know. And that was one of the things which a lot of photographers were telling me, especially during the workshops I was running, that they have really hard time to figure out all this stuff with speed lights, because they have to go through a lot of settings, making sure this whole thing is aligned, it's working well. In this case, you don't really have to go through tons of menus and all sorts of different things to setting them up. You have to plug them in, turn them on, and there's 2 buttons. One of them controls the power of the light, and the other one controls the white balance, and you can really easy set that up, and you can be ready to go within minutes, and you can start shooting right away without any additional things which you have to do in order to make this whole system work really well. So I was extremely impressed, and additionally, to set up all the settings takes minutes. You also can control this through your applications on your phone, which you can just turn them on and you can tap into your app, and then you can set it up, this whole lighting system, within minutes, and you are ready to go. So when it comes to the quality of this equipment, I'm extremely impressed, and I highly recommend it if you're planning to switch into constant lighting. This company is amazing, and as I said, those lights which I'm using, they're really good, and there was no issues with them whatsoever, and I'm hoping that it's gonna stay like this for another years to come. Okay, now let's jump into the lighting quality. So when it comes to the lighting quality, it's a completely different experience when it comes to shooting with constant lighting versus shooting with speed lights. So first of all, what I want to point it out, when it comes to the lighting, you don't have any flashes going on. So that's one of those things which basically is quite amazing, because you see right away what's going on. So back in the days when I was using speed lights, I have to take a couple test shots to see what's happening, what's going on, how the lights perform, and what are we getting. In this case, you can see this whole thing right away, which is amazing because it's just shortened the time to get ready for the photo shoot. One of the things which also I've noticed with speed lights, with the time and when the batteries are running out, the lights didn't provide me constant power output. So within, let's say, 45 minutes shooting with speed lights, which I was running on the batteries, I could see some shifts in power output, which basically affect my exposure. In this case, that's not going to happen. You getting constant and the same power output throughout entire session. You're not going to notice any changes. Second of all, when it comes to the actual quality of light, I have to say that at the very beginning, I was extremely skeptic when it comes to this type of lighting, and I was really reserved to even start working with constant lighting. I remember when I got those lights, they've been sitting in my closet for, I would say, a month, till I kind of started taking them out and start slowly trying to use them for my headshots. But what I have to say is, as soon as I shoot several headshot sessions with this lighting, I literally fall in love with it, and I never look back to my speed lights, because I've noticed significant difference when it comes to the quality of the light. So I'm not saying that the speed lights were bad, but I found that this constant lighting providing me much more precise lighting quality. And those lights, you can set up exact power, you set up exact white balance, and you get consistent results throughout entire headshot session, which is amazing. And that's what most headshot photographers are looking for, to get this really nice quality of lighting throughout entire photo shoot. Okay, so the next element I want to talk about it is photographer experience. So this is a big one, because that's what most photographers are looking for, how I'm going to feel working with this type of lighting. So as I said, I was skeptic at the beginning, but when I started shooting with this type of lights, I have to say I was really impressed. First of all, you see everything what you're getting right on the spot. So with speed lights, you have to test them a little bit and just get what you're looking for. With this type of lighting, you see exactly what you're getting right away. And what I want to point it out here is that I remember when I was shooting with speed lights, I have to look at images to see what I'm getting. Nowadays, I can just set up my lighting and I can see what exactly is going on before I even take a shot. So I started learning, looking at my lighting from completely different perspective. Now I can really see exactly how the highlights look like, how the shadows look like, what I need to adjust during the photo shoot, what's working, what it's not working, and I don't have to take any test shots to see what I'm seeing. And that's amazing, because that gives you completely new learning curve seeing the light. And I think this is extremely important, and a lot of photographers, including myself, I didn't know that's what's going to happen, and that's amazing. And I have to say that I'm extremely impressed, and that's what really bring this experience to completely different level. And I have to say, if you never experienced that, please try it. Go rent some of those lights and see how you feel working with them. But I can guarantee you this is going to be completely different experience. And I, as a headshot photographer, and I've been working in this industry for quite some time, gives me much better experience working with this type of lighting, because I feel I'm a little bit more in control, and I can precisely set up my lighting the way I want it, without any test shoots, without any tryouts. I can see everything firsthand, and that's what is extremely important. Especially time is money nowadays, so it's allowing me to basically control this lighting much better, much more precise, and that's what's going to take your headshots to completely different level. Lastly, let's talk a little bit about client experience, and this is another really big factor what make me decide to switch to this type of lighting. First of all, as you probably know, there is no flashes going on throughout entire photo shoot, and I didn't pay attention much to this element, and I know a lot of my clients were getting tired fairly quickly. Some of them, whenever the flash goes off, they kind of blink, and then I was ending up with 30% of my images where my clients had their eyes closed, and that was happening subconsciously. The clients couldn't control that much. I could notice that the flash was extremely uncomfortable for many of my clients. And again, I didn't pay attention to that. I knew that's part of the deal. They have to experience that, they have to go through that. But with constant lighting, it's completely opposite, because as soon as you set up your lighting and the client or your subject get used to it, you can shoot for hours and the client is not going to get tired. And if you can put your camera on the silent mode, you can just keep taking shots and your client is not going to be even aware that you're taking their images, which again gives you a little bit more control what kind of expressions you're getting. You can really pay attention what the client is doing and get some amazing shots, because your client is not even aware when are you taking them. So you can have really nice chat with your client, talk about some interesting stuff, get the person into the mood, make them happy, make them excited, make them feel certain things, and you can just capture some amazing headshots without any disruption, such as flash going off every few seconds. So that is a big deal, especially if you're shooting this professionally, because client experience is a huge part of being successful. Because if the client doesn't have positive experience from the session, of course they're not going to recommend you, they're going to be resistant to tell about you to anybody else. But if they're going to leave the session with positive experience and they're going to get some amazing shots, they're going to just recommend you to everybody and they're going to tell everyone about your business. So that's something extremely important, and that was, as I said, one of the main decisions why I've decided to switch to constant lighting. And as I said, I'm stick to it for now. We'll see what else the technology will bring us in the next few years. It seems like there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of things which are happening, but I would like to hear your opinion. What do you think? Do you still shoot flash, or are you shooting constant lighting? Which one you prefer and why? I hope this is going to give you some new information how you can approach your lighting setup for your headshots, and I hope that was useful, and I hope that's going to bring you just new perspective. So I would love to hear your opinion. I'm going to show you some shots which I've done using constant lighting. Hopefully you like them, but as I said, for the last 8 months I've been constantly using only this type of setup, and I'm really happy with the results. The images look pretty good in my opinion. Of course they need a little bit of retouching here and there, but the starting point is amazing, and I think this lighting setup gives me not only good quality images but also creates some amazing experience for myself and also for my clients, and that is super important because I think that's what's gonna help you to grow your business. So thank you for watching. I hope that was interesting. Stay tuned and I'll chat with you guys very soon. Bye bye.